project is delayed a few weeks, but it'll get done.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got to remodel my bathroom first. What a mess. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye. Yes, puppy. How can I help you? I probably should mute myself. I'm crazy talking to my dog.
John, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi.
Hello.
There's nobody left in the waiting rooms. Do we want to call the meeting to order now?
Yeah, we have quorum. I know Mary's running. She's not gonna be able to make it.
Yeah, Mary said she was going to make it.
Here comes Debbie right now.
Debbie, okay, so yeah, let's wait for Debbie and then we'll go.
We have quorum. Hi, Debbie.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. It's 7:02 p.m. We have Debbie, we have Scott, we have John, and we have Sherry, so we have quorum. First order of business is to approve prior meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes? I'm sorry, I heard someone say something, but it was very faint.
I was looking for the meeting minutes.
Oh, I sent them in the packet on Tuesday and also a little while ago.
Yeah, for some reason I didn't get anything on Tuesday. It was weird, and I didn't get it today. I wonder if you've got my email. Something wrong with it. But the other one worked.
Well, the one that I sent you today, you can look underneath and see the
Oh, I
email.
didn't think of that. You're right.
But it's the one that I've always used.
Yeah,
So
I don't know why I didn't get it. It's weird.
I think, Sherry, did you also have problems getting my email?
Oh, it opened up. It's a Word doc, so it opened up in another application.
Yeah.
I got it. Give me a moment. Let's read through.
I
Sherry,
apologize. For me, it was just I was always used to clicking on your link. You always had an active link in it. And I
okay.
just wanted the link. I was being lazy.
Oh,
So I had no problem. I saw that it had a meeting ID and all that stuff. So I
I'm
apologize.
sorry. Yes, it's the same link from month to month because
Is it?
yes, I just scheduled it in Zoom month to month with the same credentials.
Okay, because I had asked that question and gotten different answers back. So I thought, okay, I need a new link. You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Sherry, I had the same problem. I can't get on with the way she puts it because my computer doesn't have Zoom as an app. I use Teams.
Well,
so-
that's what I had to do. I had to go ahead and register and
Yeah.
do all that before the meeting today without a link.
Yeah, I can't.
And I manually do it every
download
month,
that.
so I didn't have an issue.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that it wasn't a live link. And when you were asking me, I thought you just didn't receive my email. And then Scott
started
didn't
to
receive it,
text
so
you.
I was confused.
And you were on, the other meeting, so I was just like, no, don't even do that. So,
I'm
no
sorry.
problem. Not a problem at all.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from last month.
Oh, I think I see an error in them.
Okay.
Okay.
And believe it or not, it's attendance because I know I wasn't at the last meeting. And I believe that these minutes here said that I was there and Mary was absent. Mary was absent, but I was as well.
Okay.
Correct? That was last
Correct.
meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to, since that was a obvious
Okay.
one for me to notice.
So do we have a motion to approve with the correction?
Can I make that motion?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay. And do we
And
have
I'll
a second?
second.
Okay, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome, thank you. The financials?
Why don't I jump on that?
I did include that in that email also.
That I have,
Even
yeah.
though they're on the portal, yeah.
Our operating account sits at 163,834, and our reserves are at 684,869. Both are growing, and so it puts our total asset at $862,646. And yeah, moving along, doing well.
So, next update on Boca Ria construction. I know that I have spoken with Bougron Development, and they said that the contract runs until November. So we are they're expected to be on site doing the construction at least until November.
Okay, I spoke to Sean also, and he said they're on schedule. So for late November, early December finish. I asked Sean, who's the foreman for Bergeron General Contracting. We have concerns from some of the homeowners that are along that east area that even though they're not encroaching on Country Park land, the lane is moving about 11 feet west. So that puts the road elevated and closer to the homes, still on county property. And several homeowners have expressed concern for privacy, saying cars will be stopped at the rear light and looking right down below into their backyards and homes.
Yeah.
I brought that to the attention of Sean. He said he understood the concern. So I said, well, can we put some plants or trees there? And he said I would need to contact the county. He cannot deviate from his contract. Gave me who to contact. I contacted the county, the person at the county in charge of the project. He also said he understands the privacy concern and he has to run it by the engineering department. And he came back and he said they don't have a space on the county land to plant trees, and the engineers came back and said there's no way that they're accept any possible liability by planting trees on Country Park land. So wasn't what I was hoping to hear. I was, but
would they reimburse us if we planted them?
I don't know. I can go back and ask.
That's a good thought.
I mean, it sounds like they got an issue coming on our property, and I understand that.
right.
It's like a liability, but what if we planted them and they just reimbursed us? That would, everybody be happy.
Absolutely.
I'll ask. They seem, I leave messages, they call back, and they're pretty friendly folks, just doing their job. I'll reach out. But at some point, we might have to really consider 3 or 4 large trees back in that area. But it's hard to say what the final, you're looking at architectural drawings and surveys, and it's hard to picture what the final product is going to be. You don't. So we got to make deal with this toward the end, but
Right.
they're not hard to reach. The people in charge are not hard to reach.
That's different.
Okay, next, irrigation. We had a new pump over on the, let me think, north side. Yeah,
The northeast side, right?
yes. So we shouldn't have any other irrigation issues.
Is
Everything's
that all the pumps that
being-
we've replaced so far? All of them now?
I think there's a
No.
total of 7 pumps, and since December, we've had to replace 3, which is, a really bad run of luck here.
Yeah.
I think we did one other one, but
Yeah, I think you might be right, like a year ago.
yeah.
We have 3 that are on the 20 that we paid for this year. One was in December, and we didn't actually pay for it until January. So we got, usually it's like 1 a year. So our irrigation repair line is way out of whack.
Okay.
And the flowers look like they're getting water.
Yeah, we had some delays with the flowers while we had some irrigation issues, but we finally got that sorted.
And the islands
Yeah,
on the north side was,
right. They're nice.
it's looking better.
Yep.
Okay, next is the golf cart.
Okay. I spoke to Frank's Carts, who we got the current golf cart from. And he said, well, it shouldn't be $2,000 to repair it. The controller's only several hundred, but he understands it's an old cart. And he says, let me get you a quote. Let me see what I got in stock, and I'll tell you what I can get you. And this was on Monday morning. And I told him, well, we have a meeting Wednesday, so I need the quote before Wednesday evening. He says, no problem. I don't have it. So,
I have a question. When I looked at these quotes, my very first reaction was, what's the catch with the $7,000 one since it's a 2025? I mean, it's brand new and it's cheaper than the rest of them.
yeah, I spoke to
What am I missing?
Beachside. I spoke to Beachside,
Uh-huh.
and because I've never heard of an Evolution Tough Man golf cart.
Right.
Turf
I
man.
know Yamaha, Easy Go,
Turf man.
Club Car. What's a Tough Man? So I looked them up online, and it's not really a golf cart. It's a utility cart. And the
Okay.
more I read about it, it seems like it's more for janitorial, light janitorial work than a golf course use. So I called Beachside, and he says, yeah, absolutely. He says it's a sturdier motor, a little more torque. It'll handle going up and down curbs and over tree roots better than the Easy Go or the Club Car. He says, of course, the Club Car and Easy Go are just fine, but this is a little sturdier cart. They come set up from the factory to max out at 19 mile an hour, 25 mile an hour, or 33 miles an hour, depending on their use. So
Have
it's,
you
This quote
seen a
is
picture of
25.
one?
huh?
Have you seen a picture of one?
I did online. I don't,
Okay, I was just curious if you'd seen what the difference between them really was, but
now,
in reality, we're much better off with a utility type cart than
right. There's
golf
two issues
cart.
with the Toughman 200. One, they're running about a 5-week lead time to get them. We don't really want to go 5 weeks. I mean, the janitor's doing his best to keep things clean and he's walking, which that's, I
So
feel
how much would it cost if we rent one for a month? Or is that not a
That
good
was
idea?
the price that I had sent y'all. They just said that they would charge 300 per week.
Oh, that's right.
But wasn't that there was a $500 deposit on that?
Right. Normally they only do 2-year leases, but I said, well, if we're buying from you, would you do lease to us just until the cart comes in? And that's when they gave me that figure.
So we're looking at 1,200 a month.
You're
Right.
buying a cart from them, it'll take a few weeks to get in, and they won't loan you a cart. That's really
Yeah,
nice.
there's
Yeah.
something,
I
there's
mean,
some
meanwhile,
other
giving
people
you
that,
money,
That
Come
was
on,
just
Dan.
the one place. Yeah, the other 2 places didn't have any carts.
Yeah, they just don't have any.
Right.
Right, nobody's got carts. There's the other thing I spoke to Beachside about was the something he said he can get quickly is the EasyGo RXV refurbished cart. And they're typically 2020 and 2021 models, which there's no difference. Those are typically available within a couple of days. And they're refurbished by EasyGo, except where Sunshine is at 8,500. He said he sells them for 6,000 plus the cost of the box.
Oh, the box on the back, yeah.
Right.
but see,
The
then we're
EasyGo
gonna
was
be
more
at the
like
price
a-
of a new one.
The new one's 15,000.
Well, no, I meant the price of the cart, the new cart.
So if the other issue with the Toughman 200 is we have to take the mirrors off, or they move in, because of the width.
Oh, for the thing.
To fit in the shed. The guy from Beachside, he says, hang on, I'm going to put you on hold. Let me get my tape measure and measure this, because the specs on their website show it's too wide. He says it's not wider than he says, we load them on ramps. It's the same width. So he measured, he says, it's the mirrors, and the mirrors you can just pull in or take off. They pop in and out easily. No tools or anything, just pull them and push them. So, and the other issue is it's 72 inches tall, and the opening for the door in the shed is 72 inches.
That lets the air out of the tires then.
Yeah, so those are the two issues with the Toughman.
What about the box we have on our cart now? Can that be transferred? Because that was replaced, I believe, a few years ago, wasn't it?
I think more than a few years ago, but the box possibly can be reused, but we don't know until we pick a cart and see if it has the right brackets or fits.
Right. So that'll save us probably a couple $1,000s.
But what if he comes
Yeah,
back and says he can fix the current cart for like $400 or $300 or something like that?
Well, Frank said he can fix it. Well, he says the controllers is not $2,000; it's several hundred. But he never called me back because the guy who looked at the cart, it's a 2001 that we have. He says the front suspension is in rough shape, and one of the rear axles is kind of rigged, because you can't get a new rear axle for it.
Yeah, Sunshine did not believe that it would be worth putting money into this one. They said that it would be in your better interest to get a refurbished or a new one, because of the age of this one and what John just said. I'd also like to point out that Frank's golf cart guy who last time I called him for a service call, he couldn't even find us. He had no clue who we were, and he's been out several times, and I've dealt with him several times, and he couldn't find us. So that's why I had to call a different vendor to come out to look at the golf cart.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So John, what is your recommendation?
I think we kind of need a golf cart sooner than later. So my thought is go to Beachside and get one of the refurbished Easy Goes. The biggest thing is the new golf carts, or the newer ones, all have lithium batteries, which they typically warranty them for 8 years, and they often last several years beyond that. No more water, no more, changing batteries. 2.5 years is a typical lifespan for a lead acid battery that we have now.
Mhm.
And all the new carts, starting about 2019, they all started switching over to lithium.
Okay, so a used one would still have the lithium.
Correct.
Okay.
Says nobody sells lead acid battery golf carts. None of
Well, like there's one on there for Sunshine that's a 2020.
it's lithium batteries.
It has 90-day warranty on the cart and 3-year on the battery.
Right.
But the only thing with, a used one is then you're running into any issues that one has.
Well, it's refurbished by Easy Go.
In other words,
Have a
does it have a
warranty, right?
warranty that goes with it then?
90
Yeah.
days on the cart, 3 years on the batteries.
Can you get an extended warranty?
Yes.
Well, we don't know how much I think.
I don't have that figure.
But are
And the Easy Go will fit in the shed.
Correct. And
we looking around 9,000 then for a used one, like what Sunshine has here then? Is that what you're talking about?
well, Beachside will sell the same cart for 6,000.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Plus, close to 7 with sales tax and the box.
Oh, and the box.
Yeah, we got it. The box I think he said the box was about 500.
Well,
Oh, that's not even worth talking about getting a new one. I thought it was a couple thousand.
No, it's just a box.
So
And maybe that's the way to go then, because we're still at a good price point.
Right.
It is refurbished, but if it's got a warranty, of course, yeah, it would depend on the warranty really, because you sure don't want to spend that money in 90 days, be out of your luck.
Right. I mean, they're refurbished from Easy Go. It's not, we're not relying on the dealer to, it's not a used cart, from a dealer.
Right.
So I mean, the Easy Go makes sense because we know it's going to work and fit, and it's a quality piece. Beachside is cheaper for the same thing over Sunshine. Other than that, I don't really have a
Right.
preference. The Toughman, as nice as it sounds, we're not positive it's going to fit in the shed. The shed has a 72-inch door, and the cart's
Many variables. We
It's
just
gonna-
shouldn't go there because it.
right. And then we're waiting about more than a month to get it.
Right.
And $1,200 to rent a golf cart for the month. If it goes 5 weeks, we're at $1,500. It's like, what's your car cost a month?
Right.
It's kind
So,
of.
do we want to make a motion then to go with the refurbished one?
I'm okay with that.
Does anybody have any discussion?
Can
Well,
you
I
get a
just-
warranty on the refurbished one?
Say
Extended
that.
warranty on that?
What'd you say?
I said, can you get an extended warranty on the refurbished one?
I don't know.
Yeah, they have though. There's I forgot what he told me, but he said we can warranty them for several years.
I might want to look.
And I
into
just
that
want to know
too.
if Frank can,
I think so.
if they fix the one that we have now, can we
But
get
if
anything for it?
it's shot, get something for it. I was going to say,
I'm saying
Well-
if he fixes it for a little bit, gets it working, and then we find the refurbished one that we're looking for. I don't know why Frank didn't come and
Too bad we can't trade our sucker in.
Both of the two golf cart companies I called are willing to take the old cart away and dispose of it at no charge to us.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's
Yeah,
worth, it's
uh-huh.
worth
Right.
a couple of $1,000s running, but he's got to fix the controller. He's got to fix the front suspension. And he says that's going to be cost as much as the cart's worth.
Well, what she was saying is just find out at bottom line if we could fix it and sell it. But we may not end up profiting anything from
Right.
Well,
Right.
that
Who's
or
got
the
the
fact
time to be
that,
the
you know,
salesperson on
they
that
fix
thing?
the one that we've got now to have it working
And I'm
until
not
we
big
find
on
the refurbished one that we're looking for.
Frank said he can fix it for a lot less, but then he couldn't find Country Park, and I still don't have his proposal on his options for replacement golf carts.
Well, I've got to say it's sad if he can't find Country Park. Let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, he had the address.
I don't know what else I can expect from somebody that can't find.
Right. And yeah, and then it's like, and I was very clear. It's like, we have a meeting Wednesday. It says Monday. Can send me an email? You got my phone number. You got my email. Send me what you have and what it's going to cost. What options we have from you. He says, no. He says, no problem. I'll get that to you.
Mhm. That
And,
means
it's Wednesday's not over, but
nah,
If
you
you're a
ain't got it
business
yet.
leader.
You're not getting it today. I can tell you that.
right.
So
But-
Beachside has refurbished ones that are available?
They've got he has the same Easy Go RXV Elite. Apparently that's a very common product that's available from Easy Go right now.
So we need, do we have we don't have a quote from him on a refurbished one though, correct?
No, I don't have a written quote. I mean, I don't know. I never spoke to anybody at Sunshine, so I really don't have any input, good or bad. I certainly don't want to dismiss them, but the guy from Beachside said, yeah, I've got the same Easy Go RXVs. Easy Go's been refurbishing them and they're available. I sell them for $59.95.
Well, do we need somebody to go out there and look at these refurbished ones and just look at both companies and find the best one? Or if it's refurbished, just refurbished, right?
It says they're refurbished. They've got
Yeah, it's just refurbished.
right. And it's not being refurbished by Sunshine or by
Right.
Side. They're refurbished by Easy Go.
So there shouldn't be any differences between them, basically.
Right. I also called somebody, I don't know, one of the country clubs about 10 years ago, or maybe a little longer. They used their golf carts for the country club for 2 years, and they would send them all back every 2 years. And a lot of people, they would sell some of them. And I thought the last time they were getting about $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
So I called over and it's like, yeah, we don't sell those anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the members, not to residents, not to anybody.
Gotcha.
So, and I don't know I don't have insight to what their program is. And even though they've got, two, 36 golf holes and, busy, sun up to sundown every day, most of the people that play there have their own carts. So
Well,
they don't even have a lot of carts.
I guess where we're at is we have a choice between two things. One is to get a quote from not Sunshine Beach. What is it?
Beachside.
Beachside. Or two, go ahead and make a motion for taking the one from a refurbished one from Sunshine. But it sounds like the other one will get a little bit cheaper, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's,
the other one is cheaper from what John's saying. So if I could just give you an option, if the board wants to make a motion to approve going with Beachside, not to exceed a certain amount or something like that, you can do that.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we get a replacement Easy Go refurbished cart from Beachside for $6,000 plus tax and the utility bed installed.
Is there a second to that motion?
I can second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Marlana, can
Aye.
you make a note for accounting that we'll pay for this out of reserves?
Okay. Did the board have any other discussion on that? Nope. Okay. Next is homeowner open forum. Any homeowner who has any comments or questions on the agenda items, please unmute yourself.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have some concerns. It seems to me that you had two main agenda items. One was to spend an awful lot of time discussing something that really has nothing to do with Country Park, but for 3 or 4 unhappy homeowners. Sorry they're unhappy, but that's what happens when you live backing up to a major road, as I well know. And now you're talking about the golf cart and you keep referencing the shed. All the time that's spent doing this, why is no time spent clearing the code violations that are inevitably going to cost homeowners a lot of money that the board is well aware of?
Violations are not on today's agenda.
Of course they're not, because they've not been disclosed. But you're talking about areas that have nothing to do with Country Park, and you're failing to disclose to Country Park residents things that are going on.
Any other question, comment? Is there any other homeowner who has any questions or comments on the agenda items?
I know Rob does. I think he's having trouble unmuting himself. I don't know if you can.
I can push a button to ask him to unmute. If he's on the phone, if he's on a phone, I think you have to press 9 or 8 or something like that. Otherwise, if he's on a laptop or a desktop, usually the bottom left-hand side, it says audio, and you would click on there. I can't like manually unmute him. He's muted from his side.
He says he's checking Simba. He texted me because he knew I was on the other meeting. He's like, let them know I'm trying to.
Maybe he can let you know his question if he's unable to unmute himself.
It's something about sprinklers.
Yeah, that's, well, we have irrigation.
Yeah. Come on, Rob, find the mute button. I don't know if he's on his phone or PC. It's called audio. I wonder if
Can you do a message? Isn't there a message section somewhere?
maybe I can call him and put him on speakerphone.
No, the messaging isn't enabled. But yeah, you can call
All
him.
right, let's see if you guys can hear him. I have him on my phone now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry about that. We have one more irrigation issue. The good news, it's free and easy to fix. I live on the southwest entrance of the neighborhood, and during irrigation time, it's between around 6 and 8 p.m. and the most rancid sulfur egg smell just coats my entire backyard and front yard from the sprinklers coming off the lake. It's also staining my patio and causing all kinds of issues with my backyard getting soaked. But my request is, or plea is, can the landscaping people please change the irrigation times of this entrance to maybe after midnight and 5 a.m. in order to avoid the horrific smell and the mist coming in the backyard when it's the only enjoyable time of the day to go out there is when the sun goes down. And I was hoping a simple fix of changing the time to the middle of the night, and that would fix a lot of issues.
That is a definite possibility. I will reach out to the irrigation specialist and request that he change that time. You want it for after midnight, correct?
Yeah, anytime maybe after midnight or before 5 a.m. And it's the entrance, the middle island, and then the far side. Basically, the wind blows all of that mist, into my backyard and Alfonso's and Adams and everyone else, and it smells like rotten eggs for hours. And that's kind of just takes a toll on the nice part of the day.
Okay.
Okay, not a problem. I got that information. I will get that to the vendor for you. Okay, I will look in my system. If I have your email address, I will send you an update. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome. No problem.
All right, thanks, guys.
Any other homeowner have any questions, comments?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
7:35. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a
Have
good
a good
night.
night.
Thanks
Night.
for coming. Bye.
Bye.